What's going on a Friday afternoon? I'll tell you what, it is Nick in the afternoon. And it is afternoon, it's 12:30, but here we are. Had to take care of a few things, but nonetheless, I have made it. I have made it online, and I see a few folks just chiming in here. Jax, good sir, how are you doing? Thank you for watching some gaming streams last night. It's nice just to kind of chill out, play some games with some folks, and just relax after a long and tough week. But dude, I know. I'm like, I wish it was almost for a minute. I don't think I could get like a 60-second countdown, but it's almost like taking that intro music and kind of remixing it and making like a whole ass song out of it. I don't know if it's possible or if I have the time to do that, but maybe I'll look into it in the free time I have. But I know, Vex. I'm expanding the times of my streams to talk about things I normally don't get to talk about during the week with other people. Jambo, you're on the West Coast, right? Or are you still no, you're still in Hawaii, dude? Lucky. It's like what? At least 9:30 there. I just realized that too. New username. Um Good to see you, Jamma. 9:30. Yeah, I know, right? And I'm like I've got cold as hell in my apartment right now, so I'm like I actually have a gray tank top on, with my or my red tank top on, my gray hoodie, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tap into my my inner rock here, but I'm sure the tank top will come off as we get cracking here on some of these topics. And I thought about having some you know some TV shows to talk about, but I haven't seen a couple of new trailers that have also been released. And we always love talking about AI, and most of us probably use AI on a weekly basis. And if you don't, kudos to you. But I use it for automation, and for work purposes, of course. And I've tampered around with it on music just because, as a musician, I am fairly interested to see the inaccuracies of of AI. Being a musician for majority of my life here, having professionally recorded music and having toured and played live shows. It's kind of the same thing when people talk about, well, I'm an artist, and I put a lot of hours into learning how to create imagery, and or whether it's like painting by hand, or whether that's um, you know uh, using Photoshop, whatever it happens to be, right? I mean, yeah, I'm not good at Photoshop, really. All of my images are kind of like, probably amateur level, and I have no problem with that. I think it's okay with being okay at certain things and being a lot, more professional and skilled at other things. Because there's only so much time in a day, almost so much time in your life to learn as much as you possibly can. So it's okay if you have things that kind of ease the way, or if you can find someone else to help you out, then amazing. But hey, let's talk about AI. Some people do. Not gonna name names, but we know people love talking about AI. However, we've seen some pretty interesting videos come out with AI. A lot of Star Wars videos. I know this is Vex's best and most favorited IP out there. It's Star Wars. She actually does not love horror. It's a lie. She has a huge picture of Jabba the Hutt in her room, not of Orlok. You heard it here first. Can confirm by a cockroach that told us Tuesday night. But more on that later. So the cool AI videos that I've seen from Star Wars that have just been taking the what Disney calls legends now, but has always been called to the extended universe, or as long as we know and enjoyed. It's cool seeing those videos come to life, because it's something that, as a book reader of the extended universe goes, I've adored some of these stories from a page turning concept, and going again, like doing what Tolkien said, Imagine it in your head, fill in the blanks, of course. But seeing these books come to life through AI is kind of cool. And that's probably the best we're going to get. I don't ever expect a Disney in my lifetime to adhere to the books, even though they probably could. They probably could just go, you know what? We have our Disney Lucasfilm crap, and then we're going to create an alternate universe called Legends. And then you can keep it separate. You can keep it, non-canon, whatever you want to call it, that helps them sleep at night. But it would just make them a lot of money. And, Disney just loves losing money and burning money instead of actually making money. So whatever. But I will say this. I did see a video, and I had thought about doing this myself, and I was trying to learn how to do it. But I thought, based on the limited amount of time I have, someone else out there is going to do a stand-up job with it. And honestly, I can't wait. I was like, I can't wait to see this happen. And because I know it was just a matter of time, because we know that Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema, pause, you might know where I'm going with this, might not be able to get the job done because they're focused on things like War of the Rohirrim, A Hunt for Gollum, this Stephen Colbert movie. Why? Because they don't know how to create other Tolkien stories from the Silmarillion, the extended, the unfinished tales. So I see this video from a guy named Mike Miller. Let me rearrange some screens here one moment. I see this this video from Mike Miller, and he says, let me get the not share screen. Yeah, but I just want to share screen here. We'll zoom in a little bit. Here we go. So this guy named Mike Miller says, we are about to see a massive explosion of epic fantasy turned into cinema. A Silmarillion film would need a $200 million green-lit budget in Tolkien's estate for blessing. He goes, I made the trailer anyway. Now, I watched the trailer and I thought, hot damn. I don't know if anyone else has seen this because I didn't really send it to anyone. Sorry, but I bookmarked it and I was like, I need to. I did send it to one person, but I gotta say I like what I see. It's not perfect. There are some things that I definitely want to see more of, but we're gonna play this. So this is from more context. This is from Fingolfin's story in the Silmarillion from chapter 18. Yo, Bushi, what's going on, dude? How you feeling? Zax, how you doing, my friend? Speaking of, I found another palmetto yesterday, lounging on his back, and had my husband spray the house. That's amazing. Star Wars is the gayest shit. A true Star Wars fan. That's true. Disney Star Wars. Variety magazine. What's up, good? How you doing, bud? Yeah, and that's the interesting thing about it. Like it's a matter of taking 15 to 30-second clips and then, making it into a quote unquote movie. They think Tolkien should, quote, reflect the world we live in today. Anyone who says this about anything ever shouldn't be producing entertainment of any kind. Yeah, 100%. What's up, James Brighter? How you doing? Good to see you here. A filmmaker building original worlds doing the Silmarillion. Oh, the irony. Yeah, I don't think anyone can actually do the Silmarillion justice. That's the problem, right? So, but we'll play the clip. Again, it's a two minute little trailer here, but yeah, let's see what you guys think. I'm curious.
We came across the ice to reclaim what was ours. 400 years we held the line. 400 years of watchfires and cold winters, and
I will say, like the visually speaking, I would love nothing more than to see the visual aspects of of like the Cimmerals, the tree, just everything like from the first age of Tolkien. I would love to see it because it would be visually stunning. But it's a matter of the characters, right? Like there's a lot of powerful elves that need to be focused on. It's like kind of getting Morgoth right, getting the other dragons, Ungoliant right, like for 400 years they've been keeping us down, but we moving on up to the east side, right, Boosh?
And names carved into stone.
That's a song from the Jeffersons.
We learned the shape of their armies, their patterns, their patience. Then the beasts of Morgoth were let loose upon the world.
Like an interesting take on Gothmog, which I'm assuming this is, Gothmog, the leader of the Balrogs, but again, could this be improved and fixed? Yes, but I think it's an interesting concept, which you could create other evil beasts within the world too.
There is no line left to hold. We fall back to the safety of the Northern Lands, or we die on this plain. He is right. There is nothing left to hold.
We thought we knew what they were capable of.
Then we are agreed.
Gone in a single day. Everything we built. Everyone we loved.
The pointed-eared warrior rides north, as I knew he would.
Remember how there was the conversation between George R. Martin's dragons and Tolkien's dragons? He's like, well, my dragons can't talk, so Tolkien's got the edge up, and Smaug would definitely kill my dragons. And I'm like, yeah, they would. Also, your stories are not good too. But God, this motherfucking Balrog's my motherfucking plane. Yo, hold on, we got a sea brew in here. Yo, what's up, sea brew? How you doing, bud? How's the restaurant biz? Yeah, cooler layering. Zoom in. More goth. I think we need less goth. My cultural based on costumes isn't your costume. I feel like goth. You don't even see a lot of goth girls these days anymore. This is trash. Where's the Puerto Rican elves? They're in the south. Zax. Why does Morgoth have childbearing hips? Yeah, there's definitely some things that could be tweaked for the better. That's for sure. Why does no one ever advocate for their Aboriginals? Yeah, right.
He cannot help it. None of the great ones ever can.
Like some of it's obviously could be smoothed out a bit, but I think just in terms of the looks, it does have a pretty decent aesthetic to it. And I was reading that one of the things that I think is coming up here in a moment that he had trouble with, again, because it's like the AI replication and having to do prompt after prompt after prompt. It's definitely one of those things where it just shows the imperfections of AI still, and I think it does have a long way to go. But that being said, I'd rather watch this than the movies that Warner Brothers are putting out for Lord of the Rings.
Come out. I name you coward, Lord of Slaves.
So if you don't know, when he's knocking on the door, this is one of the things that he had said he had a problem with, was the scale of the door and him knocking on the door. It was actually contrasting him too large which I'm like, I mean, Fingolfin's a badass mofo. He's definitely, I'd say, I think the most skilled elf in hand-to-hand combat. So like, a dude has zero fear to go up to Angbad, knock on the door, and be like, "Yo, Morgoth, use a bitch. Come on out and face me, because you're scared of Ungoliant right now." And like the idea is that thud you keep hearing, that foot, the boom boom at the end. That's Morgoth, because Morgoth is also, a big son bitch. He's actually a lot taller than Goodwin, even if you can believe that. But so I mean, yeah, like. Yeah, it's not bad. Like, and again, this is like his first sort of rendition or take. Like, I'd like to see more of it, and kind of where it goes. But I feel like in the horror one. Yeah, the orcs weren't colored folks. So yeah, and I agree, dude. Like, you can't blame them for trying to keep it faithful to the lore in the book, and just create the imagery from it. So. Celebrimbor. I mean, Celebrimbor's obviously, like, I'd say he's probably in the top 10 elves of like being the most powerful. But he would not beat Fingolfin in a fight. That's for sure. But hashtag free the orcs, exactly. Oh yeah, the armor definitely looks like it needs a lot of work. Like I said, I think there definitely needs to be more fine tuning in this. But I think like for a concept, and I told a buddy, I was like, I haven't seen anyone try to replicate the Silmarillion, like any like, of Tolkien's works yet. But give it time, especially the fact that people started to see other people create the legends stuff. Like I like, it's just a matter of time, and now here we are. This is the first one I've seen, so I imagine we'll see more. But again, it's just going to be, it's just going to take a little bit of time. So, but I don't know. I think AI, it has maybe a couple different options for us in terms of the types of films, the types of delivery that they can do with AI, and especially with celebrities, right? We've heard a lot of celebrities, Matthew McConaughey, talk about it with Timothy Chalamet and all that kind of stuff. As a concept, yeah, great start. Now fine tune, exactly, right? Like, take what you have here, fine tune it, get it better, go from there. But Chrissy Metz would make a great Morgoth. Yeah. They could sprinkle some Takis around, and it's like a bird's seat for. Oh my god, dude. You could use it as a base for previs on some shots. I 100% agree. Why do you think no one has adopted it so far? I think because no one had the idea of doing it. Like, I think they just thought. I mean, I think too, yeah, like the rights and complexity of it. Like, it is hard to fill in the blanks of the Silmarillion, because the Silmarillion isn't like 100%, completely written as the Hobbit or the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's more of like a documentary. It's very much, as I've always referred to it as, it's like almost like Tolkien's Bible, where there are stories there, there's history involved, but there's not a lot of dialogue, So you have, like, he talks more about on that post of like how he actually also uses Claude AI to create the script and the dialogue and so forth. Not that you really need AI to create dialogue, but you can just write it in Microsoft Word for all that matter. But I think he just also included that into the prompt for like Sundance and whatnot. So point being is that there's a lot of AI involved that's creating these types of videos, as there were with some of the other Star Wars films out there on YouTube, which there's some really, really well done AI Star Wars shorts, but yeah, but this I have another trailer. It's actually an interesting video. I just found this yesterday, or last night, I should say. But see what you guys think about this one as well. Actors are so cooked. This is the most amazing AI I've ever seen yet, and it's even getting the emotions fairly accurate. Great work from Taylor Chan. I might even go watch this movie. So I'd be interested to see what you guys think about this. I'll play it in a second. I've never read this similarly, but my understanding is it's not a full-on narrative structure. That's correct. Yeah. Yeah. And Goodman said too. So we need some first aid shit, but Tolkien Estate being tied with the rights. And I totally agree. And like I said, I would almost imagine like they might not ever fully release the rights to make something of it. And I think at some point, whoever's still with this Tolkien Estate might go, yeah, we're just going to leave it alone and not really care. But I'm worried as a fan that they'll never do it justice. And I don't even think, if you asked me 20 years ago, you think Peter Jackson would do it justice? I would have said yes immediately. Now, nah, not based on the current trends of his movies. I don't think that with again that same crew, Philippa Boyens, Fran Walsh, like no, like if they had any respect for Tolkien, much like they did when they were making the original trilogy, then they wouldn't be making The Hunt for Gollum. They wouldn't be making this, this Colbert movie wouldn't be getting made either. They would have had to, they could have come up with a better solution for War of the Rohirrim, which is a video I'm working on as well. So stay tuned for that in due time. There is a right way to have done that, but they didn't do it right. And so, yeah, they're just on the downward slope, but exactly. Hollywood would ruin it. I mean, it's almost like if I had a group, let's say it was myself and like two other writers, and like, okay, Nick, you can pick two other people, create the Silmarillion, whether it be an ongoing HBO series or a couple, standoff movies that aren't super long either, right? If all the money went to the Tolkien estate, I wouldn't really care. I mean, obviously, it's like I wouldn't make money, but on it, I think it would be more of a passion project at that point. So, is it a sacrifice to see something that I would truly adore to make? 100%. But it'd have to be, to a T as far as the lore goes. Yet they'll want to fork over hundreds of millions of dollars for bullshit writing that we get with most shows and movies nowadays, though. Isn't that ironic? And you were spot on, Jamma. So, there was a right way to name her, though. I will say that, but more on that later. Get Tom Shippey on board. Yeah, War of the Rohirrim was really hard to watch. Obviously, the animation was terrible, and they didn't spend any money on it either, and they just wasted it on like animation. So but let me see what you guys think about this trailer. You may have heard about an incident with an action star, quote unquote, a guy named Alan Richardson, notoriously known for Reacher. He was involved in a bike incident where he fought his neighbor because his neighbor was in the wrong, apparently, as the police had said. As further details come out. Yeah, get Big Shippy on board. So let me see what you guys think of this. New movie coming to theaters soon. This is they just made this trailer.
Previously on...
I never did like that neighbor. Hey guys! Is it cool if I send this to TMZ?
I'm a survivor.
This summer, a new business is born.
Can they not see me?
From director Taylor Chin comes a movie like never before.
There are millions of neighborhoods in America. You know what every one of them has?
Tell me.
Bullies.
Bullies. It's a movie about bullies. Hello, Sherry. How are you? Happy Friday. Richard was going 40 miles an hour in the neighborhood, marked 25. What the neighbor did was wrong, but Richard isn't the good guy here. I mean, who doesn't love a little speeding here and there? You know what I'm saying? Flip a boy and slid their own daughter to right where they'll hear him and hear her, and is a self-insert. Yeah. Oh, I know. The fact that he's like, oh, I'm going to do this with my son. Dude, shut the hell up. That alone is just means for canceling him. Sorry. Oh, Vex, it gets better. Just wait. It's honestly, I'd 100% watch this.
Destroyed my entire garden. He's such an asshole.
It's 3 a.m. in the morning, you asshole! Shut the fuck up! I posted the video, and we received over 429,000 people requesting our bully protection services. What do you think? When do we start?
The best things in life are free.
Why is your shirt off? Marketing 101.
Guys, it's time. Marketing 101. We're taking the shirt off today, guys. And by shirt, I mean hoodie. Sorry. I'm not taking my shirt off. But I agree. Marketing 101. The tank is here. The tank is here. All right. Yeah. His home screen is shirtless, of course. My home screen is not of me shirtless. I swear to God. It's actually, well, it's actually Darth Vader, but let's see. So there you go. But baby arms. Who? Cena? I know. I got my arms have a bigger circumference than he does. 40 miles per hour in neighborhoods and speeding. It's negligent child endangerment. I mean, are there child signs or no? I pull people over driving too fast in our neighborhood as others have. I mean, yeah, I think it's stupid. Oh, you have already seen this. Okay, good. You saw the same principle in full force on Enzo's last night. Should have had Cena roll up nude like the Oscars and speaking Mandarin. Yeah, right. Me, baby arms. Bush, how what do you think the circumference is of my biceps? How many inches? I'll let you guess. Bush, if you want to come lift with me, bro, you know I'm always down. Yeah, Kata chickened out, Leon chickened out. You know, no one wants to work out. 14, actually, there's 17 inches.
Free attention, zero ad spend. And besides, the women love it.
Hi.
And what about him?
That's Boosh.
Ah, fuck it, still counts.
Are you Dan the man? Yes, and who the fuck are you?
Bullies come in all shapes and sizes.
I love that shirt, Baffet. That's you on the weekends. Is that your Boosh? Is that your yard work outfit when it's hot outside?
What do you two bitches want? He's evil, I tell you.
I have T-Rex
I'm not
arms.
sure how you plan to get rid of him.
I lost it here with this.
Be careful, he's really dangerous.
Channing Tatum, dude. And Freebird.
boys.
Hopefully I don't get fucking DMC.
Has anyone ever told you that you look exactly like Channing fucking Tatum?
Who's that?
You don't know who you look exactly like? Bro.
It's like we're really looking at Channing fucking Tatum. I'm not Channing Tatum, bitch!
This summer, peace and quiet are negotiable. John Cena, Alan Richson, and not Channing Tatum.
I'm not Channing Tatum.
I mean, how many of you would actually watch that? Exactly, it's Jeff. Sherry, you understand. I'd watch it, honestly. I think it's better than some of the crap we've gotten from comedy. This Neighborhood Rules. Yeah, how much of the house is there? Can I buy a house there? Remy LeBeau. It's not Gambit either. It's Remy LeBeau. I mean, these are the type of comedy movies we actually need, right? You'd watch all of it. And then they'll do like a sequel. I don't think they'd actually call it Bullies. And they'll just make Bullies 2. Hashtag I'm not Channing Tatum. Yeah. 100%. 100%. 100%. HOA tag team match. That'd actually be pretty funny. And then the old lady can be like the judge. They don't have a down payment. They have a minimum lift requirement to buy a house. Imagine. That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. That would be amazing. If only that were the case. Sir, can you afford this down payment? Sir, I could bench press 315 pounds. I can squat 475 on the belt squat. I can deadlift over 405 pounds. Does that qualify? I'm part of the 1,000+ lifting club. Are you? Didn't think so. If anything, you should be buying this house for me to live in this neighborhood. If not, I'm gonna get not Channing Tatum to beat the crap out of you. 10-minute drive on from Muscle Beach. Yeah. Let's go hit the gym and ridicule people who didn't take enough steroids. I'm down. Let's go, Zax. That would be hilarious. Just go get to people like, hey, are you on steroids? No, you need to be. Weakling. I don't see your veins popping out of your veins. Ho association. Yeah. Speaking of hoes, there is a HB Ho moment with from Severus Chud. I love this account. What a name of an account. What a name, Severus Chud. Maybe one of the best names on X. Snape's face was like a death mask. It was marble white. Only one of these has a marble white face, and it's on the left. But then something I didn't even think about until it was pointed out. The worst part is that HBO had a perfect casting option right there. Ewan Mitchell would be insane as Snape. Great actor, looks the part, is from Britain, differently from Adam Driver, and he's very close in age to the character. Snape was 31 in the first book. Ewan is 29. And you're looking a little bit down too. Like you could see, and this guy's from House of the Dragon, right? For anyone that's watched House of the Dragon, which I didn't even really think about it, but I think it's the fact that yes, he is British. So if you want to continue to adhere to we can't get anyone that's from the United States to play these British actors because rules that we made up and have to stick to. So we're here now, but okay, cool. So I've this guy was great in The Last Kingdom. Yes, he was. I think he's like one of these up and coming actors that I'd like to see more of. I hope he gets more good parts. I mean, because as bad as the House of the Dragon season 2 was, him and Matt Smith, even though Matt Smith was cucked to hell in season 2, this guy was actually like Daemon Targaryen was one of the best parts of it. But even then, it's just like Any white dude looks infinitely more qualified than Papa Despacito. I haven't run since Clinton was off. It's restored my knee. Yeah, I don't run at all. Richard Harmon could work as Snape as well. I mean, I think the case in point is that there's multiple people that could work as Snape, right? Like, but it's just that they don't care. This just goes kind of the trend of things where these studios, these writers, these people in charge don't care about adhering to the source material. And ironically, I saw Angry Badger puts out a post, I think it was yesterday. It says, who is at fault for the casting? Is it Papa Esposito, or is it Just Kidding Rowling? And I said both, because I do think it's both. I think obviously you can say, well, it's acting. I want to act and not be who I am based on the color of my skin. I get that. I do. But no, because then if the idea of this whole thing is to adhere to the source material, and again, if this is going to be based on fidelity, this is more of a selfish endeavor, not a truthful and fact-based endeavor. So I also blame J.K. Rowling as well, and then obviously everyone that's in charge of that show, because this show should have never been made in the first place. So, and I think J.K. Rowling should have stuck to that. I think she should have said, "This doesn't need to be made. We can do other ideas. We can go with the Marauders. We can go beyond where we're at. The houses were first created. Talked about this last week. So, I definitely think that there are instances that could have saved us a lot of headache and controversy, but yet here we are. So, and again, I think Ewan would have killed it. I think, again, him being British, him looking the part, and then him being of age would also suit his career very well. Because let's say, okay, you're going to be in this next 10 years. Okay, but let's say by the time this is all said and done, guy kills it, does a great job. He's only going to be 39 by the time this is done. He still has the rest of his life to pursue other shows or other movies at that point. Because if he gains so much popularity from this, and which I'm sure he kind of already is a little bit from, House of the Dragon, but if they were adhering to everything based on the source material and they were actually knocking it out of the park from the looks to everything, then guess what? I would imagine that his career would have started to ascend, and maybe he started being casted in other great roles. Really skyrocketing his career. But yeah, another missed opportunity here. Well, we no, but he dies in the movie. So again, like there's the amount of controversy this is going to spark from all the scenes that are written prior to this point, and the fact that you just replace him with a black actor is going to be problematic. And then you're getting a lot of shills out there trying to cancel content creators because they're just going to start injecting the ists and the phobes. So I think Professor Snape is up to something. Harry, are you? Remember when was it in the Goblet of Fire, right? In Goblet of Fire, Snape accuses Harry of stealing the gillyweed, right? Telling you what, oh, you're accusing me, a white boy, of stealing gillyweed coming from a black professor? Yeah, it's going to come out. We're going to see memes about it. I'm telling you right now. Give it 4 years. We'll see memes. Snape Dogg and the Goblet of Hennessy. At least they didn't choose Ncuti Gatwa. Yeah. So, I mean, look, just more bad decisions after bad decisions. It's just, it's in their DNA now. It really is in their DNA. I'd say most people don't even know what DNA stands for on this side of things. But I was watching The Boys. I was catching up on it. I know a lot of people are like, screw The Boys. The Boys are stupid. It's a dumb show. It's fallen off. I agree. Hasn't been good since season 1. And even then, we were discussing this in Discord. It got a lot of hype. I think too much hype that sort of transcended it in the wrong ways. But, you know, here we are. I haven't finished watching all of the released episodes this season. I'm almost done with episode 2. So, spoilers in case anyone gives a shit. But I saw this post. Kripke, which not a fan of his politics. He says he wants audiences to get a little hope from The Boys. I don't know what hope you're hoping we would gain from this, but by spitting in the eye of all these absurd things and laughing at them, laughter is a great tool to make a problem maybe seem a little more manageable. And I know Vex has seen it, but has anyone else in chat seen The Boys season 5 so far? I'll wait. Yo, what's up, Ronan? How you doing, my friend? We watched some AI stuff. Talked about a little bit of Harry Potter, and now we're talking about some of our bigger TV shows right now. They will have a white man lynch a black man for trying to be with a white woman. Good thing that has no parallels in history. Right. Yeah. You know, the James and Lily Potter story won't have any implications for that in Harry Potter. No way, Jose. Yo, dog, I heard you got some potions. Let me get that lean, son. Why has it got to be weed? Gilly weed. That's what they call it. Now you're just making up words, Boosh. No, I'm just kidding. Season 2 wasn't the worst. That's when, like, it was the whole girls get it done. And I'm like, okay. It's exactly my point. So there's a little 30-second clip.
What do you hope other creatives learn from your adaptation?
Well, I can say what I hope the audience learns, which is, weirdly, I hope they get a little bit of hope from it. I hope that they see that they're not crazy, the world is. And by spitting in the eye of all of these absurd things and laughing at them, laughter is a great tool to make a problem maybe seem a little more manageable. You know, I don't think we're going to change the world. I think if anything the last 8 years has shown us is The Boys is remarkable at not changing the world. But I hope it maybe makes people feel a little less alone.
What do you hope?
Listen, I hate the fact that this show has gotten so modern. I really have. You know, and again, you get there's a Homelander concentration camps. How is that funny? Because we know who it is that Kripke would want into those concentration camps, right? He would want anyone that represents MAGA or voted for Trump or anyone that's, you know, not a Democrat, basically, or a liberal. So little chew on the nose there. And then, of course, there's Soups in the concentration camp as guards. And there's the one, like, I don't know, non-binary chick that has like a shaved head. I think it's from season 2 or 3. I forget which one. And that can make people explode. And then there's the other fat white dude that has like the long schlong as a superpower. And he's one of the like he's like beating some guy in the prison yard with it. And I'm just like, that's not Waylon. And that's exactly it. Like that you think I'm supposed to think that's funny? Like The Boys after season 1 was like, oh, we gotta go for the shock value. And even though I've never read the comics, I've heard some people say, the comics are better, but also the comics are, you know, a bit weird and strange. And sounds mid to me, but I mean, based on what I've sort of seen happen in the comics, it's like, I think it was in season 3 or 4 where there was the orgy, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. So, and I mean, it is disturbing, obviously. And I think even for some of us out there, so we've seen some stuff online. If you've been on the internet a long time, you've seen some, pretty harsh stuff. Things that even come from being in real life. But in terms of the desensitization that some of us might have been privy to, I still don't like to see it, right? Like, it's just, I'm kind of over it with the boys. Like, it's lost its hype. There's nothing that I care for this shock value now. Like, it's like there's a scene in, I think it's in episode 2 where Black Noir, who isn't the real Black Noir, of course, is with the Deep, and they go to see Homelander, who's sitting on the couch, and there's a guy that was, I don't know, part of like works for Vought, and he's sitting there and he's got no head because his head's on the table, and they're like, oh my god, and I'm just like, okay, it's supposed to disturb me or what now? Like, because I mean, obviously it's fake, but also, okay, we get it. Homelander just hates people, and like they finally showed the airplane footage from season 1 when him and Maeve are like, I'll laser every fucking one of you, right? Like, okay, we get it. Exactly, they're just edgelording people. I mean, I think that the concept of the boys was always interesting, but I don't think this is the way to do it. I don't like the fact that this has been a modern term. Like now it's all memes. It's all TikTok. It's the TikTok dances. It's just like, I'm like, no, I don't give a shit. Like, I want to watch shows that I don't need to see this real life stuff. I think the last episode I watched was Huey about to get raped by Tech Knight. Yeah, was that in season? Ooh, what's season? Oh god, I don't remember. See, I don't even remember certain scenes from certain episodes or seasons anymore because, like, they're not memorable. I mean, yes, I think Anthony Starr does a tremendous job in this type of role, but it's like, well, he was better in Banshee, which if you haven't seen Banshee with Anthony Starr, go watch that instead because it's actually got a much better story. But I think you're right, though, Waylon, right? Like, I think at first it was like, oh my god, because of the MCU at that time, right? This was right when like we were kind of getting to the peak of the MCU, after Captain America: Civil War, and then we got like a Spider-Man movie, Doctor Strange, and it was before Infinity War and Endgame, right? So like the idea that, oh my god, there's a superhero universe or story that exists, and that they're all bad because we're flawed as human beings. And then some of them, are crazy and have issues, and like that's how it would be because if some of these people we know that are fucked up in real life, if they had superpowers, they would do the same type of shit, and and they would just try to capitalize on it and turn it into a corporation. It's like, okay, but yeah, it definitely falls off. I think after season 1, I think it should have been a limited show. I don't think it should have gotten 5 seasons, but The Boys is a superhero show for horror fans. It's honestly, I think it's more so a show for people who love, like, it's not even horror, it's just grotesque, right? It's he doesn't hate people. Well, I think he definitely hates people because no one is good enough for him except for his father. His father, Jensen Ackles, which again, I think that's the only other saving grace too is Jensen Ackles. But even then, like, his character got cucked in that one season and just got put on ice. Hancock does the concept better. I agree. Yeah. After season 1 of The Boys, didn't they see people were liking the wrong characters, so they had to shove it in your face? I believe you're right. better, yeah. The concept is interesting during a period of oversaturated good guy heroes, but we're in an era where almost every hero has to be flawed or morally gray. So this just makes it more miserably boring. Exactly, dude. And that's why I think there needs to be like the approach should have been the opposite of what we actually got here. Chronicle does better. Yep. At this rate, I'm so over it. Would rather see sincere and genuine heroes again, even if it's cringe to the modern day fan. Yeah, I'd almost rather see the cheesy, campy hero than this, at this point. So, you become more shock value than horror, right? Exactly. It's the same. Like they tried so hard to shock people, and then once people caught on, like, oh, that's just the formula now. At some point, the formula is going to get bland. It's going to get boring. It's going to get stale, and we're not going to acknowledge it anymore. It's like that now. It's just pointless. Now it's just weird. It's like, again, like, okay, there's a guy with the mutated dick that's just beating some other guy in the middle of the yard, and then when the prison breakout happens, at the end, it's like, oh, by the way, Billy Butcher is now gone full hentai with his tentacles, because he's got some like weird cancer nest growing inside of him that has also made him superhuman. Because again, like you couldn't leave Butcher human, and I guess this also goes to the original writing too. So I think again, the original comic writers could also be at fault for this. But it's also interesting if people in the industry love taking away the original concept and going with their own route, right? Like, oh, I don't want to do what the original story does. I want to do something completely different. This is your opportunity, and you didn't do that either. So the fact that there's this idea of Butcher being on the same playing field of Homelander is, I'm like, I kind of liked him better when he was human, because I feel like at that point it was just a matter of how Homelander would toy around with someone who is human, and obviously they share the same wife, but for the fact that Billy Butcher is now a superhero, and who knows how he's gonna die. I don't know. I watched the first 2 episodes, and I don't know if I'm going to continue. At least Dickman is dead. Yeah, so spoiler, Mother's Milk chokes said guy with long schlong and kills him. Stabs it a couple times too, and I'm just like, okay. Yep, okay, and he's dead. Cool. Spoilers. The other interesting part about this season, Kimiko, the female, with the healing factor. I don't say female Wolverine, but not quite. That's an insult. I wouldn't even insult Laura Kinney X-23 like that. But essentially, that's what she was meant to replicate, I guess. She can talk now, guys. After what, 7? How many years since the first season came out? Was that 7 years? Right? 7 years and 5 episodes. Sorry, 5 episodes. Wow, 5 seasons. Kimiko can finally talk, and I had no idea that was a thing until I hear her actually speaking this. I was like, whoa, she can talk now. And it's like, what's the explanation for that? And Butcher's like, 16-hour fucking flight, not even a peep out of this one. And she's like, yeah, because all you say is oi oi oi, cunt cunt cunt. And I'm like, I mean, it's accurate, but maybe strike a conversation. So even French is like, you can talk now, when he's got like tape over his mouth in the concentration camp. Dude, Gen V was awful. I think they made a 2nd season of that. I didn't watch that at all. MOM, that Emilia Clarke comic where she uses her pit hairs to swing around. What? She's French. The true French babes don't shave their tits. Or tits, wow, pits. Maybe tits too. Never seen a French girl with hair on her chest. That's an interesting point though, Wayland, because that's kind of like, I feel like that's almost like the target, right? Like let's aim to the younger styles of us being adults, but also not being adults. It's like, okay, so if you're 35, remember when you were 15 and you loved this type of shit? Cool, we're gonna go back to that, but not in a good way. I misspoke. I misspoke twice. But yeah. Is there a third episode? I've not even checked yet, but like I said, I'm almost done with the second episode here, and it's like A-Train's dead. Homelander snapped his neck. You know, the doctor that I thought died last season, he's alive still. There's the virus. I mean, you know, Jensen Ackles, Soldier Boy's back. Soldier Boy, that hoe. Or Superman, that hoe from Soldier Boy, right? Remember that song? Her name is Harry. God. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really curious to see how the views and the ratings are going to be for the season. And I'm not talking about the Rotten Tomatoes saying it's 100% right now, because we know that's 100% bullshit. I think there was something Vex mentioned in Discord. I haven't gotten to it yet, so maybe there's a little bit more that I haven't seen, but The Boys is basically inside Zack Snyder's mind. I mean, listen, I think Zack Snyder's DC movies are far better than The Boys. I could say that. Like, I'd rather watch. Like, if I had to choose, not like another one. I don't want to hear. I don't want to watch either of them. If you had to choose, gun to your head, what are you gonna watch? The Boys or Man of Steel? I'm picking Man of Steel's. 100%. So, yeah, we'll see how this season turns out. I totally understand if people are not going to watch it. I don't blame you. Because obviously there's a lot of things that are just so about it. I mean, there's the what's her face that plays Annie Starlight. She's screwed up her face. There's a moment too. I've been listening to her talk in the show, and it almost seems like because of the plastic surgery she's gotten, it's kind of almost withholding her facial. Aaron Moriarty, thank you, Ronan. It's almost withholding her like cheek muscles and her lip muscles from speaking clearly. It almost seems like she's got some, like, I can't speak all the way because half my face is still numb. Like, that's how she sounds. Like, I'm like, I don't think you're fully enunciating some of these words in your dialogue, because you've had, you know, shit done to your face at a young ass age, you know. So it's one thing if you got in a car accident, you're like, hey, we're gonna need to kind of, you know, do some facial reconstruction here. Understandable. Yeah, definitely some paralysis, James. 100%. You can hear it. I'm like, that's too bad. And this whole Huey and Annie, there's like tension there, and you know, there's other like quips and remarks that are supposed to be comedic, as Kripke says, and I'm just like, okay, like Frenchie makes some joke when they're trying to plan something, and it's like, I am so honest here, even to the last, the very bottom of my anal beads. And I'm like, what? What a fucking dialogue is this? I'd rather watch BVS all day. I would too. And not even the good version of BVS, which is just retarded. Over Botoxed, she's had facial muscles cut to remove wrinkles. But it's like, dude, she's like, what, in her 30s? Hold on. How old is Aaron Moriarty? Dude, she's 31. She better not have a single wrinkle from her in her damn face. I know people in her 40s. I know girls in their 40s that don't have wrinkles and they haven't had any Botox. Oh God, so you must live a tough life being a Hollywood actor and getting shit done for you, you know, that kind of stuff. Exactly. What a waste. What a waste. What a waste. I know we've all seen this, but I figured I'd talk about it because I have been watching the show. Again, it's another one of those comic book films or shows that I was starting to read the comic book online. I've been told just get an omnibus and read it instead. It'll be a lot easier and more palpable than the show. I'm like, first season was good. I really enjoyed it. Animation was great in first season. Obviously, tanks after that. Second season, the release was terrible. You can notice a huge drop in animation. Split into two parts, budget, whatever. Season 3 was okay, but still a little mid, I guess. Season 4 started to kind of pick back up a little bit, I think. And then season 5, which I kept hearing about certain things like happening and stuff like I'd like to see that because now the show is outpacing my reading of the comic. And I story-wise, I've been enjoying season 5, except for the one episode where you have like episode 4, where Invincible gets dragged to hell. He gets summoned there. And it just felt so out of place. I'm like, I know that was in the comics. I was hearing, I heard it was in the comics, but I don't know. I'm like, you could have removed it. And the fact that they had Bruce Campbell voice Satan in that episode, I'm like, you wasted Bruce Campbell for this voice acting role? Come on, man. So dumb. Yeah, what's up, Hosty? The Invincible comics art improves dramatically as the run goes on. The animation of the show has taken a nosedive. That's what I've heard. And that's kind of like I'd rather read the comic at this point, but perhaps the choice to use PowerPoint as an animation engine for season 5 was not optimal. Yeah. So I'm watching after season 2. I have a feeling this trend, this trope of superheroes will probably die off soon, though. What's up, Blue? I admit, anytime Starlight comes on screen, it helps my vomiting. Yeah, so this I believe this is coming from episode 5, where Invincible is fighting Conquest. Conquest was had a pretty brutal scene from the finale of season 4, where Mark and Eve were fighting, and Oliver's there, and like they barely won, right? And he was supposedly dead, but Cecil was like, "No, I'm going to keep him alive," and he just regenerated and somehow lived. But yeah, top is obviously what we get, and then some brave soul was like, "I'll give it a better animation. Let me cook real quick." I mean, just even like the lighting, because this definitely has that season 1 feel to it, and like the feel of it is so much more noticeable from the after effect. I mean, just what did it cost? Like, why couldn't you have done this? I think I saw somewhere in a chat someone was talking about it. It might have been my own chat. Maybe it was Vex that was talking about it too. Yeah, I think, okay, so I'm just reading on the back end here for something. Because people have been complaining about it, which, I mean, rightfully so. Someone from the staff already responded because it's been a year and it's sad. Of course, we all wanted the show to look as polished as possible. There just wasn't enough time or manpower. Best I could do is add some lighting shot work to 1 or 2 sequences per episode since they're 40 to 55 minutes. We did our best with this. So like my previous teammate said in the original post said, doing one sequence that looks as advanced as the edits isn't viable unless the whole show can cook like that. Otherwise, it's stylistically too different, ends up being a lesser evil situation. And then this whole thing blew up right overnight. And just wanted to clarify that the YouTube comment is referring to the VFX compositing team. I was not an animator. I was a compositor on Invincible. I was also treated very well. I gave it a lot of support during my time on the show. Also thought it'd be worth mentioning that Invincible is my favorite comic, blah, blah, blah. But so they're basically saying that, oh, we couldn't do this because of time and manpower. So is it Amazon that's at fault for skipping out on time and not hiring enough people to do the art for it? So, and I mean, Vex kind of said something in the thread of mine saying they paid the voice actors too much. So it's like, yeah, like they cared too much about the voice actors, which, you look at the voice acting list in Invincible and it's like, man, like they've got some heavy hitters. I mean, even though a lot of them aren't in every single sequence, or even episode for that matter. I mean, just the main cast, with Stephen, was it Stephen Yen, whatever his name is, J.K. Simmons, Michelle, I realized that, who was it? General Thrag. Hang on. General Thrag is Lee Pace. Now, I love Lee Pace. I think he always is able to command a scene, whether it's him being on screen or if it's voice acting. But the fact that you have Stephen Ewan, you'll have Jillian Jacobs, Walton Goggins as Cecil, right? You have Lauren Cohen as Holly or War Woman. You've got Seth Rogen as Alan the Alien. J.K. Simmons as Omni-Man. Sandra Oh as Debbie Grayson, Mark's mother. Who else has been in it recently? Mostly this season. That's right. Damien Darkblood was Clancy Brown from episode 4 of the season when they went to hell. Lee Pace, like I said, who does Thrag. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is Conquest. So like you've got big named voice actors here, just actors in general, that are getting paid for this show. And then Lee Pace loves you too, Nick. He was one of the best parts about The Hobbit, I have to say. But yeah, it's a shame. Like you couldn't have found some sort of medium or get more people. And I get it. People didn't want this long wait of time, but it's like, hey, if we need more money to make this work, to make the animation good and not just some PNG file that's just floating amongst the background. I mean, that's what it looks like, right? What's up, Dave? And he said that starting with it, is it Amazon's fault? Is invariably answered with a yes. Yes, it is. Hosty, and that's why a lot of people love anime from the East. Yep. Recall that fine animated series from Warner Brothers we watched last year with Gooch. 1 episode of quality animation, 3 episodes of shit with a 10-year-old could have done better. Yep. Mm-hmm. That will not be named. We know who it is, but with my art job, people don't want to pay more for work. They want it fast and as cheap as possible. Yeah, it's the speed. They don't want to wait. Poosh. Zoom in on the PNG. That's animation. I know exactly. TV level versus movie level animation is a thing. Yes. And I agree. JDM is a national treasure. And it's like there's definitely certain people I think should be, whatever they get paid, absolutely worth the money, right? But and I like the fact that he was Conquest, because again, this really fits his persona. That's Jeffrey D. Morgan, by the way. He's not talking, but he plays his character Conquest. So, and I mean, this episode was pretty brutal. I have to say, because like I hadn't gotten this far in the comics, and I just heard like, oh, dude, like wait till Invincible fights Conquest. And I'm like, oh, they fight again, and it kind of was spoiled for me, but then it kind of made sense. But I mean, just yeah, like even having some sunbeams come in just for like the additional lighting effect because of like where the camera's supposed to be, and like facing upwards, like the sun is kind of getting cover from behind him. I mean, just like stuff like that. Like, is that really so hard? I mean, it is, I guess, for animators, but Amazon isn't striving for excellence. That is interesting though, Zax, because I think with these other shows that we know are coming, like the Mass Effect show, which is going to be absolutely destroyed. I think that's going to be a dead on arrival show. 100% Mass Effect will be Ass Effect. And on the other side though, look how long it's been taking for the Warhammer series to come out, based on when it was first announced. So this kind of goes back to like, does it really matter who's in charge and who's on board for this? Like, does the weight of Henry Cavill allow the time and preparation to cook mean something with Amazon, depending on who it is, versus a show like Invincible, where it doesn't really matter that much because it's like the actor's like, well, we need to get paid. It's the job for us. Okay, we'll do our lines. Now, animators, you got to speed up and, get these scenes drawn and move your PNG file over it real quick in your PowerPoint presentation. And then kind of go from there. And then we'll print it. So I don't know. And I guess I'm kind of surprised maybe like that. Even the voice actors, which again, I don't know if they would even speak out, because it's like, oh, if I speak out, I might not have a job. After this, they might find. Let's say, oh yeah, who else is in it? Peter Cullen, legendary, right? He also plays Thaddeus, the Betrayer, who's part of the coalition that fights the Viltrumites. Which I like his character, right? But yeah, when you're gonna have someone as legendary as Peter Cullen, like he probably gets paid well, even if he is really old. But that doesn't mean he shouldn't be paid well at all either. But yeah, it is Amazon's fault though. That is for sure. I like the Flash animation era online too. Yeah. Anime artists will work themselves to death, making the best animation possible. Very true. Western animators get stuck in the dungeon working on something like that is beneath them for way too little. Yeah, I mean, it's like, look how long it's taking them to make the next Solo Leveling season, right? I mean, I can think about some other animes that have taken a few years already just to create like 12 episodes. Like I'm a big fan of the 1,000-Year Blood War story from Bleach. And granted, the last part of that manga should have been done completely, and even the original creator said the same thing, which is why I think the fact that this has been created into an anime finally, the animation of it is great, is well done because they've been taking their time. They're like, yeah, we're not trying to pump out, a new season every 6 months, or even a year. Like it's they're going to go a couple of years at a time here, for this season to come out. Apparently, the fourth core or season of that show or anime is coming out, I think, in the summertime. I think Blue was telling me that, which I'm looking forward to, because I'm curious to see what gets changed, and then or maybe added into it. But I'm always looking forward to the art style too. So, man, that's something that I don't think Western animation appreciates, which is just like, well, then why the hell are we going to watch your show? It shows how much lighting and shadow has an effect on the look. Oh yeah, I think people, I think your casual viewer doesn't understand this frame alone, and I don't think would appreciate it, let alone an entire episode and an entire season of this. Kind of like we got in the first season of Invincible. But Amazon makes you excrement to a bottle. The Mass Erect and Master Cheeks crossover. We might get it. Who knows? Dude, that's another show I'm not looking forward to. The BG3 ripoff that has nothing to do with the game. That's gonna be another one. Halo was another series I couldn't watch. I couldn't watch the second season. I was so pissed off after the first season. I couldn't pull myself together. I just couldn't do it. Yeah, yeah, Sam. I don't know if they are doing the Highlander remake. Yeah, it is Amazon MGM. So, yeah, well, we shall see how that is. Holy crap, the Accolade was a hot dumpster water at a liposuction clinic. Good when I thought Ahsoka was bad. Nah, I just heard it was Amazon, though. The masters in all aspects are gone. The pre-production is very important, and it's how you save time and money. Yes, it is. It's definitely not in-depth writing that holds up solo leveling. That's true. They're taking their time with Blue-Eyed Samurai Season 2. I did hear that. The studios aren't mentoring future talent and showing them how production works. I know, and that's the other problem, right? It's sort of like I'd almost maybe equate it to the like the similarity of sorry for a sports reference, guys, but it's sort of like how quarterbacks, new and upcoming quarterbacks, are failing at the position because them as future talent aren't being properly trained. Tom Brady spoke about this as well, which I agree. I mean, and I think if like anything, jobs, companies, positions, whatever should be, nurturing and mentoring and training future talent. It's one thing if you're hiring for an already experienced role, but if you're not doing that, then like, what do you expect? You can't expect this, this great piece of art to come out in animation and go, oh my God, it's gonna be so fantastic. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised, Goodwin. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think she's in it, thankfully, because that would be absolutely terrible. But yeah, why not? I just throw in there. Cute CGI characters in live action can all burn. Jar Jar. Listen, if you had to pick and choose, would you choose Jar Jar out of the last 20 years of all CGI? I mean, Boosh, who would you pick? Grogu? You have to choose one. Grogu or Jar Jar? You have to choose one. You have to choose one. While I bring up the next tab here. So, because there's another show again that started this week on Monday, which is I watched the first 2 episodes from Maul, Shadow Lord. The latest thing to come from Dave Filoni and Lucasfilm. Which I think the most part I've seen, I guess, mixed reviews. Well, I'd say most of the reviews I've seen has been good. I saw what Star Wars Theory said. I'm kind of curious to see what our short King Rossi would have to say too. But I haven't spoke with him yet on this. And should probably text him and find out. But I know a lot of people aren't a fan of it. I know a lot of people aren't. Okay, Baby Yoda dies. Structure was on screen far less. Okay. So now would you choose an Ewok or Jar Jar? I mean, Darth Jar Jar would be an amazing storyline at this point. I'd rather be here for that meme than anything, honestly. I mean, I think it is safe to say it's dying. People say like Star Wars is dead. I don't think it's dead yet. I think it's definitely dying. It's dying a slow death. And I don't know if it can be jolted back into life, unfortunately, because, we just don't know. Now, I will say, Sam Witwer, I do like his voice acting. Obviously loved the fact that he was Star Killer as well. I would have rather have seen that as a Star Wars movie, but we didn't get that either, because that's not canon according to Disney, right? So I'm biased. I love those Ewok Adventures movies. Yeah, I listen. I love Ewoks. Misa, sorry. I love the Ewoks over anything that Disney has put out Star Wars wise. So, yeah, I mean, I'd say like it's the characters, right? If they put out a movie that did not have anything to do with anything that was like new, and again, I think this goes with the whole what was it, the Starfighter movie. I saw an interesting take on Instagram from this other podcast, which was kind of saying the same thing. I don't know if I can bring it up. I'll try to see if I can bring it up on the computer here. But these 2 guys were talking about it's Ryan Gosling in Star Wars playing a Ryan Gosling role. Like, it's not going to be anything special. It's like I saw someone say, okay, so it's, here's your preview of Ryan Gosling in Project Hail Mary. This is what it's going to be like for Ryan Gosling in Star Wars. And that's it. And whether he's a Jedi or not is going to be hilarious, because I don't know, but like the idea and the concept of like what they go into it. I understand people aren't a fan of this animation. It doesn't bother me. I think sometimes when the animation is, in the talking scenes, you start to notice it, because it obviously just looks very different, while unique, different. But I like the speed of the combat, and I will say the best parts are, yes, when Maul's there. Now, people will say, why the hell is Maul alive? Maul should be dead. Absolutely. Maul should be dead. But for some reason, the Clone Wars, they decided to bring him back. And Dave Filoni pledged to not kill or not did not have George. The fact that George was like all for killing Ahsoka and Dave, no, don't kill her, please. Come on, dude. I almost wish that would have happened. Rip Wade. Starfighter will probably feature Gosling shirtless scenes to try and draw. I'm sure there's going to be like this an attempt to pull in a female audience, right? Because I think in the original trilogy, well, again, like Harrison Ford wasn't super popular at that time, but he was a good-looking guy, handsome. Women loved him, right? Much like Indiana Jones. He's a handsome guy. He looks good on screen. I think that is their attempt. They're like, we need to get like another, handsome guy on screen here. Ryan Gosling, let's do him, right? Chicks love Ryan Gosling. I guess some dudes like Ryan Gosling too. Let's do it. And of course, Ryan Gosling, I think, will do any film at this point. It doesn't really matter. So I think he was probably like, yeah, I'll do Star Wars. Why not? Star Wars has one great film, Empire. New Hope and Revenge are okay. The rest are visually, the rest is the visual equivalent of licking the bathroom floor at a Greyhound's bus station. I love the OT. And yes, I think Revenge is okay. I know some people say like Empire's the best, then followed by Revenge of the Sith, and then like people will mix up between A New Hope and Return of the Jedi. I get the whole Ewok thing, right? But I still love it. Obviously, I'm not saying that Return of the Jedi is the best. Kind of like Leon will make a point where I think Return of the Jedi is his favorite, but he acknowledges that Empire is the best. There are aspects I really do enjoy about Return of the Jedi that isn't there in the prequels. And again, same thing. Like the problem with Revenge of the Sith is that we already know what happens, right? We already know the story, so kind of how it's being told, and like it's more of a visual representation. Like let's show Grievous as one of the villains. Let's show how Order 66 happens and why all the Jedi are gone and they get murdered. Let's show the falling out between Obi-Wan and Anakin. You are my brother, Anakin. I loved you. Right? How he gets maimed and gets put into the Darth Vader suit, and we get the Franken Vader scene, of course. And then then we get how Luke and Leia are birthed because Padme dies, right, during childbirth, right? Like we already know all this. We just get it shown to us. And that's the problem with the prequels, right? Now people love seeing that, and that's fine. But to say that they're better than the OT, I disagree. And it's fine. Again, if you love Revenge just as much as Empire, or better than New Hope or Return of the Jedi, that's fine. Why is Maul's top and bottom half be joined? They should be having separate adventures. That's the real missed opportunity, Goodwin. The bottom half. Cybernetics, though. Yeah, I know. It's just. Now, I will say the video games are probably the best thing about this point. He's like an iguana's tail, I know, right? Just keeps on living. Ahsoka dying would have been the most worthwhile thing she could have done as a character. I agree. I think they should have killed her off. I think Filoni should have killed her off in that 7th season of the Clone Wars that they did, or whatever it was. That 4-parter where you had Maul versus Ahsoka, and you had what's his face come back and mocap Darth Maul. Yeah, dude, I know. That's what I was saying in the beginning. I was saying in the beginning, Waylon, where like the fact that we're starting to see some people use AI to create the first age or stories from the first age of Tolkien, like from the Silmarillion. I think that was probably a result from people doing the extended universe things. Those shorts on YouTube. I figured it was just a matter of time. But I mean, again, I'd rather watch those AI videos than the fucking sequels. More Jedi survived Order 66 than existed to Order 66. I know. That's the other thing that doesn't make any sense. It's like, I thought only like literally a handful of Jedi like survived. Obi-Wan and Yoda. But now there's like 36 or something like that. Because technically the Inquisitors, while temporarily turned to the Empire, are still, they're not fully bad or evil like Vader or whatever. So, Yakub, what's going on, my dude? How are you doing? The good old days when, Star Wars was just the Christmas special. Boosh, you got to watch Badlands, man. You got to. Just one time. Empire is the best. Star Wars, the second. Return is third, only because half of it is pretty crap. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at too. People's movies have some quotes that last with the pops. That's true. They definitely do, right? Like, I mean, there are things that have come from the prequels that you can acknowledge and appreciate, whether it's for, puns, memes, or, some more serious, like a more serious approach. But the KOTOR games are still some of the finest. Oh, dude, like KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2 are like arguably some of the best Star Wars stories, period, in the entire IP. Sex. Anakin, FMK, Padme. All for one and one for all. Dude, don't get me started on Sabine, man. Oh my God. She should have been dead too. I agree. I think Tolkien would have probably beheaded people feeding his stories into AI. Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I definitely think Tolkien would definitely be very outspoken against AI. And I'm sure his son would have been too, Christopher Tolkien. Yes, the Family Guy Star Wars movies are better than anything since the dude. Those movies are hilarious. I love them so much. And again, same thing. I think the something Dark Side, which is the Empire Strikes Back movie, is the best one out of the three for the Star Wars movies. Like, it just translates so much better. The other two are good too. Like there's the scene. God, I might be able to. I think I could pull maybe scenes, a couple scenes up here, but there's a scene in I forget what they call the third movie, but for Family Guy. But there's a scene on Endor, or the Forest Moon of Endor. Sorry, where Han gets when he lures out the stormtroopers, the Imperial troopers, and he makes them dig their own grave with their helmet because he's got a gun to them. And it's like, oh man, this took a dark turn. Dude, I was just laughing at that. Some black comedy there. But yeah, they're so good. I mean, I probably watched the second one the most out of the Family Guy movies. Which it's just, I think I have it on DVD somewhere too, but it's like when Chris who's Luke Skywalker is on Hoth and on the Tauntaun, right? And he passes out, and then the old man shows up, and he's like, Luke, Luke, pull your pants down. Luke, pull your pants down. He says it repeatedly. He's like, Ben. And Han as Peter Griffin shows up, right? And or Peter Griffin as Han shows up, and then he cuts the tauntaun open with the lightsaber, and he just takes an exaggerated amount of breaths, you know, just to say, I thought this smelled bad. He takes like 10 breaths just to say, on the outside, like, I don't know. It's like I find stuff like that funny. Or at least it was just well done in it. Like in the first one, when they find the couch in the trash compactor and they're just trying to like finagle it out of the doorway. It's so stupid, but it just works so well at the same time. I'm just like, man, this is great. Order 66 is the equivalent of the Holocaust denialism. Cole Hauser does Star Wars prequel streams from time to time, and we cover some interesting Star Wars AI videos, far better than what Disney's remaking. But that's a low bar to begin with. Yeah, I've seen Star Wars Theory do some as well, and I've just kind of gone on my own tangent to look at them. I don't know. I may talk about some from time to time in the future, if there's maybe like some relevancy. But yeah, they're definitely interesting to analyze though from a good perspective. But so see, there were 10,000 Jedi before 66. You wiped out 99% of them. That still leaves 100 Jedi in a universe of billions of people. Yeah. So they're out. They be out there somewhere. Suggestion 66. Yeah. Something dark side. Oh, the hot girl's gone now. Okay, they love my Darth farts. Yeah, that's what I think. That's what Stewie says. Dave, I like the water. Yeah. Yeah, the Mandalorians themselves have been destroyed. What's up, Coolie Men? Can you say a Mark variant for an edit? Can I say a Mark variant? Like name one? Well, you've got what? You got the cannibalism Mark, and you've got what? Mark Prime. There you go. There's two. Family Guy is death. What? The third Family Guy I've got a bad feeling about this was phoned in. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I remember they had to do that because the second one was like so successful, I think, right? Yeah, why can't you stand it, dude? Why not? What happened, Hosty? You don't like it? Oh, yeah. I love in the second one, too. Like, they're talking about, what is it? They do the juicy fruit. They do that commercial. They're like skiing on Hoth. Juicy fruit is gonna move ya. Juicy fruit, and get right to ya. The big problem is that Disney only focuses on 20 to 30 year period, so hence why they when they tell another Jedi that survived, it makes things look ridiculous. Yes. I.e., they have no continuity in mind. Kind of like Kevin Feige in the MCU. Kasdan Paradas. F that guy. Yeah. Disney had access to the expanded universe that covered hundreds of years in the Star Wars events and threw it away. Yeah, we could blame Kathleen Kennedy for that. You know what I'm saying? If you're listening with that Matt Stone and Trey Parker do, they don't have jokes, just gimmicks. But can a gimmick not be a joke? If a joke is funny, and gimmicks can also be funny. Are they the same, or are they different still? Just a question. They tried doing Jedi during the High Republic, and they wanted to do the Acolyte. Yikes. Yeah, the High Republic is one of the worst decisions that they've ever done. And I'd say on top of that, like we can go back to 2012 and we can look at how Kathleen Kennedy lied to everyone's face, and we already know the story, but it's like, George's like, I have treatments, comics, books, blah, blah, blah. And then Kathleen's kind of like, oh, we had access to none of this. And it's like, you lying bitch, you lied straight through your teeth about all this. You could have made, it's like, oh, yeah, well, this movie made $1 billion, but it actually didn't profit $1 billion. It's only difference, right? I think had they actually followed the actual Thrawn trilogy storyline, right, where you see you see like Han and Luke and Leia, Chewie, right? Lando comes back. Leia's pregnant with the twins. We're getting to see Mara Jade for the first time. We're getting to meet Drew Sabayoth, right? Like, if we got that original trilogy with Ron, I think they would have profited $1 billion on each of those movies. And I think Kathleen Kennedy would have looked like a genius for doing that. She would have gotten uber praise. But here we are. Complete opposite. And I think, yeah, like, it was vanity. And I think that might go down as one of the biggest failures and missed opportunities and mistakes in movie history. I agree. The fact that they tried to insert it in there is just asinine. I read a High Republic book a while back, and the Chancellor of the Republic, a woman, allows a 9/11 scale terrorist attack to happen through her own negligence, and the story treats her like a hero. Right, because that's what these characters, so like these writers would find appraising, like in appealing, and things that you would find this appealing, right? That's how ass backwards these people are, and they wonder why the failure of this has happened, So, she is, though. I don't care what she. You go back and watch Jurassic Park and these other movies with Steven Spielberg and George Lucas on their name. I'm like, oh, you see producer Kathleen Kennedy. I don't give a damn what she was a part of. She never created anything her own. She's always rid the fucking coattails of people greater than her. Dude, that's what I'm saying. If we got Kyle Katarn, the amount of nerds out there would have lost their freaking minds. If we would have gotten like a villain like Dasan or something like that, dude. I mean, yeah, you got Jason Solo, Jaina Solo, Anakin Solo, Ben Skywalker, not Ben Solo, Ben fucking Skywalker, that's his name. And Mara Jade, I mean, oh my God. Like some of those stories, like you build upon that, right? You find an actor that is starting to ramp up them being as Jason Solo, and then you start to see how he's affected over time. And then I still hear IG88. Confirmed Bush hates droids. He's a droidist. Like just seeing how Jason Solo goes in and transforms into Darth Caedus. Oh, people like I know there's people who like love the prequels. Like, oh my God, Kylo Ren, he was so bad. It was so evil. Oh my God, like what he did was so dark. I'm like, what? If anything, he's the weakest of shit that's ever been done to anyone that has been that has wielded a red lightsaber. I'm like, and this version of Luke Skywalker is not it at all. Oh, he tried to kill his nephew. The real Luke Skywalker couldn't put himself to harm his nephew, despite the fact that not only did his nephew kill his wife and son, but almost tried to kill other family members. Yes. I think calling him a Timo Jason Solo is almost too good of a bad compliment too. Oh, dude. I was legit worried. I'm like, dude, people are gonna lose their minds when Darth Plagueis gets absolutely murdered and botched story-wise. Lord Vader, we found a protocol droid as an astro droid. Oh no shit, those my boys. Yeah, I mean, like again, I think the animation is kind of cool to an extent. Like, I mean,
you actually hear the sound of Sam screaming built into the saber. You actually
like I like the violent part of this show because I mean Maul actually murders a lot of people in the first 2 episodes, which I wasn't expecting. And I'm like, granted, it's animation, but like he doesn't really hold back. He actually just like murks a lot of people, which I was surprised. I'm like, okay. Now the story wise, not too sure, right? Like this is supposed to be George's treatment of Darth Maul and Darth Talon. And we see this little Twi'lek, who, you know, I'm sure that's what they're kind of building up. So I know some people are like, oh, at least we're getting it. I'm like, that's not the point. I don't want the at least conversation. It needs to be. We should have gotten that as a sequel or in that sequel era. Wrong timeline. The Shadows of the Empire film, dude. Yeah, absolutely. Dash Rendar would have been great. Kyle was no Daisy. George streaming my ass. Yeah, I know. Dude. Okay, Cade Skywalker would have been a great era to jump towards. Especially like if Mark Hamill didn't want to do the role anymore, right? Because it's like, oh well, or minimalistic, because like he only shows up in space in you know, Force Ghost mode. So I think the idea of a Skywalker nonetheless, but a Jedi that comes from his lineage, you know, is into drugs, you know, is not even a rebel, I'd say. It's just more so he's you know, fallen off the path, and you know, he's dealing with a lot of struggling in life. He, you know, takes the drugs to like, you know, to deny the Force, and doesn't want to see you know, Luke Skywalker show up at all, and until he kind of starts to, you know, come around. Like those are actually pretty good graphic novels or comics to read. Exactly, he was flawed. And I think that's something that would have resonated with a lot of people, realizing that, like, yeah, I've gone through a lot of struggles in life. I've had a lot of, you know, ups and downs. I've dealt with addiction, or I've had, you know, other, you know, issues. Maybe this character is someone I can actually relate to. And it doesn't fucking matter what skin color you are, because that applies to everyone. And I think that would have been, again, yeah, I know Darth Talon is like one of his, you know, villains in that storyline. So I think that would have made sense. But again, like the fact that that's just pushed off to the side and listed as legends is just part of the problem. Part of the issue, that you had a great idea. You had other good comics and stories to take ideas from and create, but you don't want to. Gasp! Human nature? We can't have that in Star Wars. Take Kylo Ren and where was it? I just saw it. And Rey as the last Skywalker. Go pound sand. Left on that black people can see themselves as hero unless the hero is black, which is to say they have no imagination. Very true. Very true. And Yeah, I mean, I also saw that Sam Witwer was talking like about if Lucasfilm ever asked him to come back as Starkiller, he'd shave his head in an instant. He'd do that role. I don't know if that'll ever happen again because that's technically in the the Legend era, right? So I don't know if that's going to be a thing. Last thing I want to talk about. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched this Punisher One Last Kill trailer. I haven't watched it yet. I've heard a couple things here and there. I heard a couple things here and there. So y'all get my live thoughts on this. Darth Vader was a terrifying villain. 100%. 100%. If it's a white male character, it can have flaws. No female. Exactly, because girl power. Girl boss. Girl bosses don't have problems or issues, and they're not flawed. According to Disney, especially. Story centered around a Reverend during the Millennium Wars is an easy winner. Oh, that's what I'm saying. You had multiple opportunities to like continuously make billion-dollar box office films, and you squandered them, thinking that, oh well, you know, we've got Rogue One, which is arguably the best one of them all, but then you've got we've got the sequels, and now we've got Mando and Grogu and Solo. Remember how Solo lost money? Yep, I do. But I agree. Like, I feel like they will fuck up Revan so bad, though. Time of Legend when writing wasn't shit. Yes. So I've also been watching Daredevil. I don't know. You'd be like, Nick, why are you doing that to yourself? Well, just in the event it needs to be discussed. It is again proving to be nowhere close to the original 3 seasons on Netflix. While I will say that there is a bit more violence in this season compared to the last one as well. You can't just have violence and not have a good story behind it. Exactly. I'm watching it, so you don't have to. It's kind of like I didn't watch Acolyte, and other people did. Same thing. I didn't watch season 2 of Rings of Power. Probably won't watch season 3 of Rings of Power either because I will have an aneurysm. But I love Daredevil. Daredevil. But even with episode 4 had Poindexter as Bullseye, who's like a good guy. Even though, I mean, again, like Daredevil's been beating the shit out of some people, you know, but there's some sus moments. Like the guy who played, if you remember anything from the first season, the guy who gets he died in real life from cancer. Who is the actor that played White Tiger. He dies. His character obviously dies in the show. And is like, I think is it his daughter that was like 13 or something like that, is like now trying to take up the mantle. I'm like, dude, Daredevil could probably throw her across a football field with one hand. Like, so I don't know why like they're going that route as well. But also I would say the issues with Kingpin, being perceived as Trump, and then the Punisher Task Force, whatever they're calling it, I forget even. Now there was a task force that was similar from an old comics, I think from the 80s, where the cops did. I made a video of this like when the first season came out. So if you're interested, you could go back and watch that. But I did mention how I thought, I figured they were going to go this route, which I guess I was right, for maybe lack of a better reasoning, but they, in the comic, there was this force that was like idolized the Punisher and what the Punisher was doing, so they created there's Punisher look-alike force. But I think this is being taken too far in this show. They're using it as like like this fascist regime of like Fisk being the mayor, and then they're basically making it, oh, this is what ICE is, and they're doing the same type of shit. Which I think it's like, again, it's too on the nose. This is just, it's so stupid. Little Tiger's a thief. It fits. Yeah, exactly. Niece, that's what I thought it might be. I don't mind the season of Daredevil so far. It's not good, but some of the fights are cool. Bullseye is fun. Just skip anything involving lawyers and it's not so bad. Exactly. Like that's kind of where I'm at too, Zach, where I'm like, the fight scenes are cool, and I appreciate like better choreography, because last season some of the choreography was quite dull in my opinion. But I haven't seen Foggy yet, and I know there's like a idea that Foggy's still alive. Which again, I think it's stupid that they killed him off in the first place. Sorry for spoilers, but we'll see. Yeah, the slower stuff is definitely around like the non-talking, that, and again, scenes that don't have our main character in it. So, and I'm still waiting for Jessica Jones to show up, because it's like that was spoiled already, but I haven't seen her show up yet. So, I'm disappointed they haven't continued the Kingpin and marriage counseling arc. Does he reconcile with his wife or not? She's dead. His wife dies in this episode, the last one, episode 4. Want to know how? I'll tell you how. So, Fisk is at this boxing event. He's just beating the shit out of some random dude, some random boxer that has a record. Kingpin doesn't have a record. Official boxing record, that is, right? So they schedule this match in some like warehouse. It's got a lot of hype, blah, blah, blah. His wife was at some other event. She's wearing white. He's wearing white. And she shows up, even though he tells her not to. And then Bullseye eventually goes to this event, starts killing people. And then he finds this, like, what do you call it? Little, like desk statue that has like glass on it of like buildings or whatever it is. Like, I forgot what it said on there. It shows how much I was paying attention. But he throws it at Kingpin, and Kingpin has like the wrestling belt, or like the boxing belt or whatever, because he wins the fight, and he breaks it as it's being thrown at his head, and he breaks it, and it shatters into pieces, and it's in slow motion. And I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. The other thing though, as that happened, his wife, who's in the ring as well with him, because after he's won, she goes up there, she pulls her gun out and shoots Bullseye like through the torso or whatever it is. And so it's like, oh, it's kind of why his aim was a little off for once. But as like the commotion, Daredevil shows up, fights, and then like somehow also is able to take Bullseye out of the warehouse window, and they both run off. But what it cuts back to is his wife, who's laying on the boxing, or into the boxing ring, and she says like, Fisk or whatever, and he looks at her and is like, Vanessa, are you okay? And she's like got a shard of glass like right here in her temple, I guess. It didn't look like it was that deep, but I'm guessing it was like maybe the size of like your pinky finger to an extent. I don't know exactly. I'd have to go back, maybe freeze frame one of the broken pieces that was shattered off of when Fisk, deflects it and it breaks. But essentially, that piece of glass goes into her head and it kills her, and she dies, and there's blood going over her white dress. So now imagine that Kingpin's gonna go on some sort of, revenge tour as if he wasn't already on one. And it's gonna get really violent and dark, and he's gonna go out the deep end now. So yeah, I don't know. If this show gets really dark, then I'm all here for it, because I think that's kind of where it needs to be. But I also think that's why Jessica Jones is going to show up, and then you're going to have this Defenders reboot, right? You're going to have Luke Cage and Iron Fist show up as well. So, but yeah, so there's the backstory. I agree. I think Jessica Jones and Luke Cage season 1 were also very good. And then there are follow-up seasons were not. Yeah, they're definitely trying to give us good fights. I know it sucks that that same that same effort isn't being applied to other sections of the show, right? The story itself, the character arcs, they're I don't want to say like the chemistry between Matt and Karen aren't good. I think between the actors, they've got good chemistry. But yeah, later, Waylon. I'll catch you later, dude. I think I saw IB in here. How you doing, IB? Season 1 of Luke Cage is great. Yeah, I know. Season 2 was not that good. So I'd rather watch Houseplants than most of the cast. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have watched this trailer yet. Like I said, I haven't watched it yet, but great gruff voice. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. So let's take a look at this, because I like John Bernthal's Punisher. I know there's sort of like this, who's better? Is it John Bernthal? Is it oh god, what was the dude who was in oh god, why am I forgetting his name? Ahsoka, who Ray Stevenson, his Punisher, or Thomas Jane's Punisher. I don't know if you guys have a preference. I kind of like all three of them to an extent. But I do enjoy like again, same thing. Punisher season 1 was good. Punisher season 2, eh. Yeah. This was an atrocity. So I agree. Cottonmouth was great. No love for Dolph Lundgren's Punisher. With the didn't that have the ketchup bottle like knife kill sound effects? Like, all right. I'll give some leverage. That'll be the 4 options. So who do you love? Thomas Jane, Ray Stevenson, Dolph Lundgren, or John Bernthal. There's your 4. There are your 4 options. But I agree, though. I saw the first Punisher with Thomas Jane first, and then I saw Dolph Lundgren's Punisher after that, and then I saw Ray Stevens after that, just because it came out in theaters. But yeah, I agree. I think Ray Stevenson was an underappreciated actor. He was by far the most entertaining and appreciated part of Ahsoka. And it sucks that he passed away. But shit happens, I guess. I forgot who replaced him. Wasn't it Royer McCann, who plays the Hound. So that's the only reason why I'm going to express any interest in potential coverage of Ahsoka season 2. Laundry day, Nick? Is it laundry day? I used to say that for Sundays. Bernthal went to Christian Bill Babin School of Growling when working out together. Ray is the best actor on that list by far. I mean, I think John Bernthal has acting chops. It's the fact that he just has gotten like, stuck into this type of character trope. And I agree, Boosh. He definitely did. Zach's, I agree. So let's see what this trailer has.
Hey, Frank. How you doing, brother?
Typecasted, yes.
Talk to me.
So, like, is this... I don't know if this is supposed to be, like, the events of this movie. Is this supposed to come after the Daredevil show? Or do we know? Have they said? Or is this supposed to, like, be in the interim of the Daredevil series? Like, is this happening during season 2 of Daredevil Born Again, or what?
Tell me what's going on.
Are we going to see depressed... to set up for Punisher in this Spider-Man 4 movie. Gotcha. Interesting. Well, it's like he kind of does, right? In, like, we were talking about Ford v Ferrari. Like, you see him outside of this typecast and like, oh, I would have liked to see more of that. But that's the problem. Like, oh, who can we get for this type of role? John Bernthal.
Think God's gonna forgive us for the things we've done? I'm not sure about me. But you ain't got a fucking chance.
No. Wait.
Who's going to do that right here? Which, again, I guess he fits. This trailer made it move as Gooch. This is my first time watching it, so I haven't seen it, everything like so far, but Bernthal has the advantage of being attached to good projects as the Punisher rather than schlocky action movies. Oh, yeah. Exactly. I mean, I'd say too, like his work in Fury. I almost said Ferrari. In Fury, which we're gonna cover. Like, it's not quite the same as he usually does, but I think he's good in Fury too, though. Stevenson was 6'3". Yeah, and Rory McCann's 6'6". Maybe he's eye level with Goodwin now. Disney dropping F-bombs for kids. I know, right?
Where are they?
It definitely did look very comic booky, which I don't know if it's actually taken from a comic book or not, but that is true. Yep. Different role for him in Wolf of Wall Street as well. I definitely agree with that. So he will have different roles from time to time, but it's like I would like to see him. I will say this too. If you guys have ever seen that show The Bear, he plays the brother Mikey, or whatever that passed away. He's in the second season, and then what is it? The dinner scene with like Bob Odenkirk and a bunch of other people, like that episode, by far one of the best episodes of that entire series. But he definitely like did very well as far as an acting goes in that episode. This May, the Punisher returns to your friendly neighborhood. He will lose it just to find it again and then lose it again.
That's all you got? That's all you got? That's all you got?
I imagine it's going to be very action heavy. But I wonder if he's going to actually like refer to himself as the Punisher at all. But oh, look, another peaceful Antifa, right? All right, Lucy's got the skull on. One last kill. One last Disney Plus movie to go through. If you guys still have your Disney Plus memberships, why? I hope it's action heavy with good action like the earlier seasons. Yeah, I hope it is like season 1 of Punisher. I don't know if it's going to be, but like, yeah, I have my reservations. That's an okay trailer at best. I was trying to see if there's anything like thing from the comments, but I don't think so. But we'll see. Yeah, I agree. I'm not a fan of the title as well as my Team Plus membership. Not a huge trade of that. His range so far isn't nearly as impressive as Ray's was. Yeah, I can agree to that. Only Disney Plus because I leached from my parents, like a good son. So, but yeah, who knows? We'll see how some of these shows continue onward with. You know, I mean, I'm not expecting good things from The Boys. You know, I for Invincible, the animation is going to be the same. I think there's only 2 more episodes in that season until season 5's over. I don't know if that one scene is going to happen. Which, if you know the grape scene from Anissa and Mark, I don't know if that's going to happen in this season or not, because I'm not sure again where that happens in terms of the comic itself. But I am looking forward to it just to see if they'll actually go through with it or not, if they've got the balls. And then Zax, we'll see it. We'll see how this season turns out with Daredevil. So I'm curious. I don't want to say I'm like hyped up by any means, but I am curious. And then yeah, Maul. I don't know if it's going to do anything for Disney at all. I don't expect it to save Disney. I mean, it might instill some hope with some people. And if people like it, that's totally fine. But yeah. We shall see. So I have no idea who else is streaming right now. I don't see anyone else streaming at the moment, but let's see. Hold on. Smooth streaming Star Fox Adventures. I wish I had a Smooth. But anyway, that'll do it for me today. So Mangu and Grando soon. Yep, just a little over a month away, y'all. We are so close. We're so close of seeing another Star Wars movie lose money. Cannot wait to see those numbers in box office and talk about them. So, but that being said, I'm gonna call it here. It's getting to that point where I am starting to get a little hungry, precious. So I'm gonna get some food. You guys are awesome for joining me for these afternoon shows. Nick at Noon as the working title, I guess, of what I'm gonna call these. So, you know, if there are any topics along the week that you want me to kind of cover and give my, initial thoughts on, I'll, try to just be honest about it. There were a couple other things I was going to talk about. I was going to talk a whole segment about female streamers. I did on a couple posts or reposts on X. So who knows if they continue? Maybe I'll do a little combo segment next Friday. Because you know, female streamers like to show their tits sometimes and get away with it, even if it slips out on Twitch. So, you know, and not face any repercussions. But anyway, that being said, you guys are awesome. I appreciate all the views, the watches, the likes, the replays, all that kind of stuff. So, yep, another one of the books. Exactly. I guess it's officially #1 for Nick at Noon. I mean, I know last week was the pilot episode, and it was more like 1 p.m. But time fluctuations may happen depending on emergency cases. But yes, I enjoy this, and I appreciate each and one of you hanging out on X and YouTube. So we're gonna see what's up to Smooth the DJ. He's playing Star Fox, and I will. I'll be around this weekend. We'll see. Might pop around on Leon's stream tonight. Sydney's got her big stream Saturday. Monday night we're talking Unforgiven for Masculine Mondays, and I'll see you all then. So